for today's lesson, we are going to learn how to create the skimmer body and the skimmer fins. Here is a completed skimmer body, and here are the completed skimmer fins. What we're doing is we're just transferring dimensions from our drawing, our working drawing, to our material. In this case, it's going to be a tag board. So a couple things that you're going to need to make this happen. One, you're going to need the working drawing, you're going to need a sharpened pencil, and you will need a ruler. All right. So the first thing that I have to do is, for creating the skimmer body, I have to have the correct piece, and that piece is going to be 11 inches in length by a total width of 4 inches. And we can see that over there, it's 4 inches. This distance between here is 3 inches. This distance here is a half, that's a half, and that half plus half gives us 1, plus the 3 gives us the 4. So again, I need a piece that is 11 inches in length. So if I take my trusty ruler here, 11 inches in length and 4 inches in width. Okay. So to do this, what I need to do is I need to measure up a half of an inch this way to get that offset. And that's from that measurement right there. Well, we don't use rulers to draw straight lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a cheat or a shortcut. And so to do that, what we're going to do is just have 2 points of reference. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my ruler here, and I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to make 5 my 0. And I'm going to come up on this one 4/8 of an inch, or if I was on this side, 8/16. It's my halfway point in between these 2 points. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's my halfway point there. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. So again, I'm going to 0 that out. That's my 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of an inch. And now that I have those 2 points of reference there, now I can draw a nice straight line. Now, in drawing that nice straight line, what I'm going to do is use my ruler here. I'm going to put those 2 points on there like that. And now what I'm going to do is just draw my line. Now, what I've seen in the past is students just simply just draw their line even like this without applying pressure, and it will move on you. So we're going to push down on the ruler, which is also going to push down the tag board, and that should keep it nice and straight for us. And just draw my nice straight line. You will have to understand that this project, you have to be exact. Being off by a little bit will cause it to not work. So we have to, again, be exact with our measurements. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Again, I'm going to measure down a half of an inch. I'm going to do that in 2 points because that's going to give me, allow me to draw a nice straight line. So I'm going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4/8, half of an inch. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Make 4 my 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make my mark. And now I have those 2 points. So again, I line my 2 points up with my ruler there. I got my point there, my other point there. Once I'm happy with that measurement, I'm going to now simply draw my line down. And that's how we offset those lines that we can see in our working drawing right here. So my next step, what I need to do is I have to draw this line right here. But notice that this line doesn't go all the way across the bottom. It goes in between my offset right here. And that can be found by measuring over this way 3 inches. And then in between here, I'm just going to draw a 3-inch line as well. Really, I'm just going to draw that in between that offset. Okay? And so again, I'm going to need 2 points of reference. So what I'm going to do is, again, come over here. I'm going to make 4 my 0, and I'm going to come up 1, 2, 3 inches, make my mark. I'll take this one, and I'll make 5 now my 0, and again come up 1, 2, 3. And now that I have those 2 points of reference right there, now what I can do is simply draw that nice straight line. So I'm going to take that there and draw my line over. And that's that. That's how we create the skimmer body. Okay? again, there is my finished piece. So I don't, if I do misplace it, I can find it again. I'm gonna put my name and my mods on there, okay? So that's the skimmer body. The next step, what we need to do is we have to create the skimmer fins. And these are the skimmer fins right here. And now with the skimmer fins, we need a piece that is going to be measure 3.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall. It's gonna be a perfect square. So I take my ruler here. If I measure it out, I'm gonna start there, and I have 1, 2, 3.5. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. 1, I'm gonna make that more even there. 1, 2, 3.5. Now, you might be asking yourself too, well, Mr. Morris, why are you not using that as your 0? Well, sometimes our rulers can get banged up a little bit. And so to prevent that, so we are totally accurate, that's why I always start at 1 or another measurement, not at the end here, because these will fall, they'll break, they'll bend, and it's not always a true measurement. And I mentioned before, this has to be exact. And if we're not exact, it will not work. Things will not fit together. And you'll probably most likely make another one, and that's not always fun. All right, so what I need to do here is first I need to cut this in half diagonally. So here is my piece right here. And what I'm going to do is just simply line up my straight edge here. And I'm gonna go from corner to corner here. And again, I'm applying that pressure, pushing down on it so it doesn't move on me. I wanna get a nice straight line. And now what I need to do is I have to draw a line that comes over this way and then up. Okay, and that's gonna be over 1/2 inch, and then over this way 1/2 inch. So what I'm gonna do is just take my ruler here, I'll line this up, and again, I'm gonna come up or come over this way 4/8 inch or 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/2 inch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna draw this line till it intersects right there, okay? And so what I'm going to do is if I take a look at it, that's my point right there, and this has to be 1/2 inch. So that's my halfway point right there. So I'm gonna line that up right there and simply draw it down. And now this next one, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, but now I don't have to measure over here. If I take this, go to my point right here, and I get this to my halfway point right there, 1/2 inch. Once I have that set, I can take that one and draw that line up like that. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing down here. Measure over 1/2 inch. And again, I'm gonna use my ruler here. I'm gonna zero that out. I'm trying to get this line lined up with my diagonal there, my halfway point. And once I have it lined up, that's my 2 points of reference, and I draw my line. This one, again, I don't need to measure over this way, because again, I already have my halfway point right here. I'm gonna line that up. Those are the 2 lines intersect, and I'm looking for it up here to get that to be 1/2 inch. And that's that. That's how we create our fins. And what I'm going to do is just simply put my name on both of my fins here. So just in case I do miss. And that's how we create the skimmer body, which is, again, this part right here. And this is how we create the skimmer fins, which is maybe that part right there. All right, go do those 2 parts. Good luck.